Why do Black people need therapy?
So I believe that Black people need therapy, primarily because I believe there's such a disconnect between what they think therapy is versus what really happens in therapy. For me, I think it's really about just helping people break that cycle in regards to this sense of like shame and silence that people hold on to. I wholeheartedly believe that the things that we don't talk about, you can't talk about, you end up carrying that anyway. And so it's just like if you can find a space to actually safely talk about those things and feel heard and feel affirmed, then you open up so many other channels and doors that can provide you with the space to feel actually comfortable. Yeah, you say the same thing though? Yeah, because it's such a big generational code of like we don't talk about what happens at what happens at home. We pray about it, we get over it, and we just keep pushing. And that's just truly not realistic when you think about the backpack that you carry. When you think about some of the things that you don't talk about. And so, if you can learn how to let go of those burdens, you can allow yourself to be free of maybe the stories that don't serve you anymore, the things that don't support you anymore, and to create new narratives, create new experiences that can, again, have healthier relationships to yourself, healthier relationships with your partner, healthier relationships to your family, relationships all the way around. So I think by choosing to go to therapy is really important. It's not a sign of weakness. It's not a sign of anything more than just self-respect, love, bravery, and courage to yourself. And I think that when you are looking for a therapist, it's important to find one, yes, who is Black, but also one who is able to validate and normalize your experience. Yeah, and I think for me as a therapist, I think we hold a responsibility to not only service those who look like us, talk like us, experience life like us, but at the same time, just give them that safe space. I think that's really important because so many times people will sit across from me and say, somebody gets it, somebody understands, and I think that's important.
Black people need therapy. Well, coming from a Black queer perspective, it's very hard for me not to go back to historical context. When you think of Black people needing therapy, you think of all the discrimination, all the racism, and all the generational trauma that has been passed down for generations. Next, we got to talk about intersexuality of sexuality and just being Black. So we need a space to be able to be authentic. We need a space to be able to dive through a lot of traumas that we are experiencing today, a lot of traumas that we've experienced in the past. And then if we merge out into the community, we don't go to therapy just because of us. We go to therapy to heal our community, right? We want to make sure that we're not passing on a lot of the generational trauma that we've been exposed to. Primarily, the main reason why we go to therapy is because our parents didn't. That's why I'm in therapy. That's why I'm a therapist. That's why I provide a space for a lot of Black queers who are therapists because our parents didn't go.
Why do Black people need therapy? Because we have got to stop wearing our trauma on our sleeve like a badge of honor. It's not it. I mean, I get it. We've been conditioned for so many years from our family members, our grandparents, even our friends too in our community, that what we experience is something that we need to be proud of, that we made it over, but sometimes making it over, you don't see the steps that it took to get over, right? So I think it's really important that we take the time to offer spaces for people to be able to release that burden and to be able to have that badge of I'm healed and not I'm broken, right? Because a lot of times we think that, oh, well, I done made it through the storm, so, I have a badge of honor. I'm a believer in Jesus Christ. Like I said, God took on all the burdens that you could ever think of, even imagine, right? So yes, you can go to church and you can still have a therapist too. So even though grandmama them told you that you need to go in your prayer closet and you need to listen to Shekinah Glory 5 times on repeat, you can still have a therapist as well. Find that space and find someone who can affirm you, who can listen to you and love you in a way that can make you feel like you are seen and you are heard. And it's not about, like I said, being ashamed, being guilted, or even feeling like you are smaller because you're in a space where you have to talk about the things that you're afraid to talk about to your friends, family, or whoever you're close to. So just know that you can still heal with Jesus and a licensed professional who has some letters after their name.
Why Black people need therapy? Because I believe that therapy does not mean you're weak. I do believe that being so strong is tiring, and that's what y'all feel when y'all feel like I'm trying too much and I feel weak. It's because you're tired. I know your mama told you it's not real, but you don't listen to them. You know what you know about your body. You listen to your body and nobody else, okay? Get that therapist, get that help, all right? Take the meds if you need to. It's not, I promise you, that doesn't mean anything bad. It just means that you're wired different, but you're also you're God's child, and that's how he made you, and you're perfect in your skin.
Black people need therapy because our pain has been inherited. Black people need therapy because some conversations are better suited beyond the group message, the salons, the barbershops. Black people need therapy because wellness isn't just for our counterparts. We deserve to be seen, heard, and understood in safe spaces and without the masks. So often our cups are empty and we give from those deficits, but I think something that's helpful to know is that if your cup is not overflowing, you definitely don't have enough to give and share with everybody else. So when we prioritize our wellness and show up for ourselves, we can then show up in those relationships and in those different roles in a much better space. So Black people need therapy because you owe it to yourself to show up for yourself and show up as yourself in a safe space.
So therapy for Black people, why do we need it? Well, for one, therapy is ours. It is our culture. It is our history. We have always been a part of therapy. And unfortunately, it has been weaponized, it has been stigmatized, and it has been used against us. And so therefore, we often feel like it's not for us. And when you have that therapist who understands that, who understands the systematic pieces of therapy, who understands what it truly is, it really helps you to connect your mind and your body and your soul. What we know is that we are a holistic people. We are connected people, and therapy helps us to define just that. And so being able to do that with a person who truly sees you, who allows you to be in a space where you are vulnerable, is unmatched. And so it helps you not only to put a mirror up to yourself, which sometimes is very hard to do, but with a safe person, you're able to really see who you are, understand your behaviors, your context, why you do what you do, as well as understand your history, and it's a window to your future. And so it helps you to accept the things that are going on, the things that you've been through, and the emotions and the pain and the joy that comes along with that, along with helping you see that there is a possibility for a different future. So do we need therapy? Yes. Is therapy ours? Absolutely. Is it something that all of us can need and can utilize and helps us to find our joy? Yes.
Why do I feel Black people need therapy? I feel therapy is important for us because, to me, therapy is a place where it's safe to unravel. It's safe to just be. And as a Black person myself, in a lot of spaces, it's not always safe to just be, to just show up. Sometimes just showing up feels like a threat to other people. And it can be overwhelming. So being able to go somewhere where you don't have to worry about how you're perceived, what you feel, having shame associated with your feelings, therapy gives you the opportunity to look at that. I also feel like it gives you the opportunity to dream up other possibilities. Sometimes, growing up Black, you could feel boxed in. And so just having that moment to even look at the box that you might feel is there and say, is this the one for me? Do I need a box? You can create the identity that actually feels true to you, and not feel ashamed of the fact that some things just aren't enough. Sometimes it can get overwhelming or intimidating going to therapy, because your therapist may not look like you or may not have a similar background or just may not be able to see you. And so being able to figure out what a safe space looks like for you, what type of treatment modality feels good to you. Some people prefer talk therapy, and then you may also look into somatic practices. And traditionally, we've always moved our bodies and it's always been healing. So being able to find what works for you and move through that in a space that allows you to do so freely.
Why I feel like Black people need therapy. Therapy is I love giving analogies. So therapy is like taking your car in for regular maintenance. For Black people, you know, we've been riding on rough roads for a long time. This is generational trauma, you know, systemic barriers, and just everyday stress. So at the end of the day, you know, we don't want to wait to the last minute for us to take our car in or for us to do therapy. You know, therapy gives us that option to, or that ability to be able to pull our hood up and look and see what's underneath there and just make sure everything's running right. It also gives us the opportunity to be able to speak to someone that has an outside lens versus our family or our friends. So yeah.
No matter what our economical status is, our marital status, our educational status, being Black is challenging. We have to navigate through so many things such as microaggressions, racial trauma, societal pressures, and that's on top of like financial stressors, relationships, parents, different things that we have to go through. But therapy gives you that space to process it, and you don't have to feel like you have to put on for anybody. You can just show up as who you are, and you can get the tools that you need to feel like you can take on the world, to make you feel balanced, human, helps you to feel like you belong.